Hey, it's Lebo working on Doctor Who. Coming across a number of little things, and this was just one I just had to make a real quick short video on. So Doctor Who has got this little playfield that will raise up, and it's done by this motor here. I think this motor had been replaced at one point because someone added in these wires that are certainly not factory. Looks like they just sort of cut off I don't know, line cord somewhere and said, hey, that'll work. That's a good idea. Look at this. No, we don't need connectors. None of that business. That's overkill. Why would they design such a thing? Let's just take some little bit of insulation off here and just wrap some wire around there and then put some black tape on it. And we're good to go. Oh my gosh. All right, so we're gonna undo all that. I'm probably even gonna put the right color wires on there too, just to, if I can, or at least something close, but not just not this business. This is bad. So I've already got the new connectors. In fact, this is the right size that fits that. If this one's not too boogered up, I'll keep it. But I've actually got this connector too. So I've got the male and the female, and the pins that go inside both of them. And so I'm probably going to end up rebuilding not only just the wires that are soldered to this motor and would end up at a connector that would plug into this, but there's a chance I may be rebuilding this whole connector here too, just depending on how bad these wires are all damaged up. Anyways, I'll this is kind of a before, and I'll switch over to an after here once I get this all done. Okay, so I've taken the wires off. I soldered on some new wires. It's red and black is what the actual wire colors really are. At least they are on this other end, and you can see I've already removed the wires, and you can see what they had done before. They'd stripped out a little bit of insulation, and it wasn't even soldered on. It was just wrapped around. I was really surprised that it was actually working, but it was. I've debated rebuilding this. I probably should if I really want to be anal, but I think it's not really that bad. So I think what I may do, I will run a little piece of tape around each of these, run tape around the whole thing, and I'm going to put a zip tie to lock this down around that whole tape, and then unconnect everything together, and I think that'll be good enough. All right. Okay, so here's what I ended up doing. Rather than trying to take the pins out of this connector, I've got a tool that I could slip in that would have been able to, or it should have been able to release the little locks and let the pins free from the actual plastic connector. Instead of even trying to do that, I ended up running a little piece of electrical tape around one of the wires, and then ran another piece of tape around the other wire, and actually both wires, just to hold them together. And then just ran a couple zip ties just to kind of lock that whole, all that tape and everything down. And the rest of the wires of this harness, ended up putting some more little zip ties, just, built together a little harness and plugged it together. So, now it's definitely more serviceable than it was just a little while ago. Nothing real fancy, but hey, it works. All right, there we go.